Hey gents, spring has sprung in Pittsburgh. It is beautiful out here, and that means that over the last 4 or 5 months, I have completed all of my spreadsheets, tracking all my mileage, and I just want to give you a little bit of an update on the winter driving in my i3. Now on my channel, I cover the best menswear on the internet, so if you want to learn more about that, go ahead and check that out. But sometimes I like to do these little off-topic videos, and so for the past few months, I've been tracking my mileage in the winter to give you an idea of what this looks like in an i3, or you can expect similar results from another electric car, because this is all about that battery performance in the cold weather. Now I have a non-range extender i3, fully electric, and I drive it every single day in Eco Pro Plus mode. I have a 50-mile total commute every day, and I get to experience essentially all of the driving situations. I drive about 5 or 6 miles in stop and go traffic, which is where I get really good efficiency. Usually those first 5 miles I only use 3% of battery, and then I drive an additional like 20 miles on the highway, so I'm able to really gauge what my performance is in each of these scenarios. So every day I would track the percent that I had left in battery when I came home, because I was able to use that baseline every single day because I would drive the exact same route. And I'm trying to get the most accurate statistics on my range when I'm not throwing in any of the variables for running the heat or the heated seats or anything else. So if you want to watch my full i3 video, I talked about it for like 25 minutes. I absolutely love this thing. I've now hit 1 year of ownership with this, and I'll link to my 4-month review up above. After driving it in the winter, it wasn't that bad of a winter. It was pretty cold, but it wasn't that snowy. I never had an issue with traction. The wheels are extremely skinny on the i3, but I didn't find that it drove any worse than any other 2-wheel drive vehicle, so I'm very happy with the performance. Now to talk about the range, I essentially bucketed this into some of the different temperature variations that I saw a degradation in my range. And I'm a typical American, so this will be all in Fahrenheit. I'm sorry to anybody trying to do the calculations and conversions on the fly. From my tracking, the optimal range happens between like 62 degrees and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, I get about 90 miles on a single charge. And then everything below that is when you start to see levels of degradation. So using 60 degrees Fahrenheit as the point where you start to see diminishing range and temperature, down to about 45 degrees, you see a 10% drop in range. Now, if you take that down between 45 and 30, you see a 15% drop in range. Now below 30 degrees Fahrenheit is where the car really starts to struggle, and keep in mind this is all Eco Pro Plus. This is no climate control, anything else. I drove very cold all winter just to get these stats. Below 30 degrees you start to see a 30% drop in your range. So if you're looking at the total mileage that you drive every day, you have to reduce that by 30% on these very cold days. Below that, even still, under 20 degrees Fahrenheit, I was seeing almost a 50% reduction in range. So every single day, I drive 50 miles, and there were some days when it was that cold, I had to use the seat heater a little bit, and I would barely make it home on a full charge. So I absolutely know this is an early adopter car, an early adopter technology. I signed up for this whenever I bought the car. I had an idea of what the range would be in the winter, but this is the most granular that I've ever been able to find online. And then there's also some tips that you can use in order to maximize your range, so you can precondition the car before you get in. You can either schedule it to happen, you know, if you leave at a certain time every day, or what I would just do is 5 to 10 minutes before I leave the house, you precondition the car by the app. It heats the cabin, it warms up the battery because the battery needs to operate at a certain temperature. So preconditioning will get you some extra miles. And then also not using the heat in the car obviously is a pretty big one, but if you need to keep yourself warm a little bit, the seat heaters use a lot less energy than running the climate control. So those are 2 really easy ways you can get more mileage out of there. Make sure you know what type of driving you'd be doing with your car. There you have it, gents. I had a lot of questions on my last video about the winter driving performance. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and comment below. You can also reach out at @_Kavalier on Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, check out my full video if you want to see me really gush about this car. 1 year in, still absolutely loving it, and I could definitely see me picking up another i3. I know that they're launching some bigger batteries. I'm really excited to see where the i line goes within BMW. I've driven BMWs for over 10 years, and I'm really excited to see where this continues to go and how they adopt to these new technologies. I do think electric is the future. I've got solar panels on my house. I love the instant torque of the electric vehicles. I know we're very early days, but I'm excited about my findings so far. Stick around if you want to learn about the best menswear on the internet. That's what I typically cover on this channel. Until next time, gents, this is the Kavalier.